unless we see a line drive double play, the Hawks will bat it around in this bottom of the first inning. Here's the 2-1. That's way outside. 3-1 on Blake Cower.
Yeah, how do you... It's just...
Again, King having trouble here, similar to Rice, finding the strike zone. And now 3-1 pitch, you know he's going to force him to throw a strike.
2-1, that's way outside. 3-1 on Blake Cower.
How do you... We're good. You're in.
So we're good? That's good.
And the pitch, that is outside, ball 4, and a walk. Blake Cower. So 2 aboard now, as it's the number 9 hitter, Andrew Thompson, and the Hawks have officially batted around here in this bottom of the first inning. Thompson coming in, struggling offensively right now. 192, 5 runs batted in. Does have one of 2 triples that this team has hit this year. We told you that Sean Matson, it's Kenneth Honfield actually has the other one. So Christian King and the Fanshawe Falcons have their work cut out for them, down 5-1, and there's a called strike to Andrew Thompson behind 0-1. So Thompson play in Game 1, came in as a pinch runner in Game 2, and unfortunately was doubled off second base on that line drive right back to Frias yesterday. Here's the pitch. That's popped up left side. Drifting over into foul territory is Mike Ambrose. He has a play, makes the catch. 2 down.
Steven Andropoulos.
So good job there by King to come in, getting a couple of flyouts there, pop flyouts, infield flyouts. Try and get out of this first inning, which has not gone the way that the Fanshawe Falcons have wanted so far here today.
And now the fun part of our job, as our scorecard, we've got to go back and flip the order again, as it's the second time that Steven Andropoulos will bat in this inning. Led this 5-run rally off with a walk, came around to score, takes a called strike there.
Nice off-speed pitch there from King at the bottom half of the strike zone.
And Andropoulos helping matters by stealing a base. Came around to score on an RBI single by Sean Matson. He's got 2 aboard here. The 0-1 pitch, and that's nubbed foul off to the left. Picked up by the on-deck hitter, Daniel Campos. And you figure that coming in here in the first inning with nobody out, they're going to need a few innings out of Christian King today.
Yeah, obviously not scheduled to start in this pitch, and even if he was thought about coming in a relief appearance, you wouldn't have thought that it would be till maybe the 5th or 6th inning. So definitely look for a long outing here from King, as this is the first game of a doubleheader. So you don't, how far do you go into your bullpen knowing that you might have to go into it in Game 2 as well?
Yeah, you certainly hate to burn your bullpen out at any point, let alone in first game of a doubleheader. So here's a pitch, and that floats outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Steven Andropoulos.
And in the first inning of that first game in the doubleheader, to boot.
Yeah, and of course yesterday we had the second game go a couple extra frames, so 16 innings of baseball played by the Humber Hawks. The 1-2 pitch, and curveball bends around the plate. Close pitch, 2-2 on Andropoulos. King's body language suggesting he thought he might have gotten that call.
A big sweeping curve there from King there, kind of a get-me-over curve.
So here's the 2-2 to Andropoulos. Runners take off, swinging a ground ball through the right side, a base hit. Rounding third and coming in to score is Stoddart. Gingrich on his way to third. It's an RBI single for Steven Andropoulos, and Humber leading it 6-1 now.
Perfectly executed hit and run play put on there by the third base coach of the Hawks, and it ended up working out in the Hawks' favor as that line drive just got underneath the glove of the first baseman, Hames, who was just unable to dive out and make the play there.
I said Gingrich, that's actually Cower that motored around to third base. So runners at the corners, Andropoulos with the RBI single. He's been on base twice in this inning. Runners at the corners now, Cower at third and Andropoulos at first. And Daniel Campos, who was hit by a pitch and scored a run earlier this inning, will be the batter. And King's first delivery to him is a little bit up and away, 1-0. Of course, the footing much better here today. Everything seems to have dried up overnight. 1-0 pitch is well outside, 2-0 from Christian King to Daniel Campos.
Taking a big lead at third there is Cower, as he was not being held on there at third base.
Yeah, even with the runner at third, because you have the runner at first, King is working from the stretch. And here's the pitch, and that's flare down the left side and over and making the catch. A nice running grab by the third baseman, Mike Ambrose, made 2 plays in foul territory. And that's the inning. So Humber, with an eruption here in the first, they score 6 runs, strand a pair, but after an inning, it's the Hawks 6 and the Falcons 1. You're listening to Humber Hawks Baseball.
And I think, Michael, this is a kind of a carryover from the way that the Hawks played in Game 1 and 2 yesterday, the doubleheader against the top-ranked Saints. As well, they didn't come out with any wins yesterday, but that was good battling baseball. They didn't give up, and they clawed their way back. And today, against a Fanshawe Falcons team, they took advantage. They jumped all over the starting pitcher early.
And Christian King, as you mentioned, coming in, doing a nice job of kind of cleaning up the mess a little bit, and we'll expect that King will go at least 2 or 3 innings, if not longer, here today in relief, as the Falcons, who come in at 6-3, looking to come back. They've got quite a hole here after just 1 inning, 6-1, and a nice cushion for Cameron Gray.
Now Cameron Gray pitched well in the first inning, gave up that 1 run, but he's had a long layoff now, and we talked about it yesterday in the long layoff for in the game yesterday, how the St. Clair pitcher would respond after the long layoff, and now, coincidentally, on the other side of things, now we'll see how Gray will fare after that long layoff in the bottom half of the first inning.
Yeah, we saw Kyle Breitner give up a couple of runs coming out of that long inning as Humber was able to tack a couple back on after that 6-run eruption by the Saints, and we'll see now in a proverbial shutdown inning, if you will, for Cameron Gray as he goes to work in the second inning.
Leading off the top half of the second inning for the Falcons is going to be Tyson Patrick, the left fielder. Patrick comes into today hitting .235 on the season. First pitch is just high and a little bit outside there. 1-0 goes the count. The 1-0 pitch from Gray. In there, catches the inside half of the plate there. 1-1 goes the count.
Notice Cameron Gray kind of has a strange windup, almost like he's coming from the set position.
Pitch fouled off in behind behind the backdrop there.
Now, if you want to make a comparison to Major League Baseball, a little bit like Chris Tillman, kind of facing forward, almost kind of somewhere in between that stretch and windup.
Yeah, unique windup. The 1-2 pitch misses on the outside on that sweeping curveball there from Gray. The 2-2 pitch, hard ball, just gets past the second baseman Andropoulos into left field as Patrick is aboard here with the leadoff single. You have to think that that's just what the Hawks needed after that inning, Michael.
Yeah, hard hit ball. Andropoulos making a valiant effort moving to his left, but just unable to get a glove on it. Of course, you think about yesterday, the grass and the dirt, ball might have slowed down just a little bit. It's going to pick up steam wherever it hits today, drier conditions.
Designated hitter for the Falcons there. Takes first pitch strike. That's Alex Sherrow. Sherrow coming into today, hitting 154 on the season. The 0-1 pitch from Gray is high. 1-1 goes the count.
Wouldn't expect much in terms of the running game, trailing by 5 runs. You're just looking to play station to station almost right now, Everett.
Yeah, just go on contact only. The 1-1 pitch from Gray. And take that. The runner was going, and now the batter was hit by a pitch there, as Sherrow now will trot down to first base. And now the Falcons have 2 aboard here with none away.
Yeah, making me eat my words there. Tyson Patrick takes off from first base. The pitch just runs up and in and hits Alex Shawnee right on the left shoulder.
It's going to be
okay.
It's going to be the second baseman, Jeremy Nonen, steps in here with 2 on and nobody aboard here, trying to get an RBI, bring in a couple.
And you look at this bottom of the Falcons order, 154, 154, and 118, 7, 8, 9.
Showing bunt, pulling it away, in there for a called strike. Big leadoff there by second base, Michael.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to change the defensive alignment if you're Humber. We did see the runner Patrick take off. Cowher's got a good arm, though, behind the plate.
The 0-1 pitch from Gray. Runners taking big leads, but nobody running there. There's the 0-2 pitch from Gray. For the 1-1 pitch. Misses on the outside. 2-1 goes the count.
We see Sean Matson kind of creeping over a little bit towards second base. Andropoulos maintaining normal depth. It would open up the left side just a little bit and leads you to believe that Humber feels that, if anything, Jeremy Noonan's going to be a pull hitter here.
2-1 pitch from Gray. Check swing, that just goes foul. Now 2-2. Gray looking to record an out here. Double play is in. The 2-2 pitch from Gray. Misses high and outside. Gray looking to try and get him to chase there, Mike.
Yeah, we said, and you almost called it on point, Everett, maybe a little bit of command struggles here after the long layoff at bottom of the first inning in which the Hawks scored 6 runs.
And so the count goes full. Here's the payoff pitch from Gray. A chopper just high, just in front of the mound, taken by Cowher. He bobbles it and unable to make an out anywhere. Runners are safe at first, second, and third. So now the Falcons are alive with bases loaded, no outs. As little Cowher unable to get that chopper in front of the mound.
Yeah, that Baltimore chop, and it would have been a tough play for Cowher. Probably think that would be an infield hit. Even if he fields that cleanly, it was hit so high. Jeremy Noonan coming out of that left-handed batter's box, getting down that line, and Cowher actually made a good heads-up decision. Looked back to third as we saw Tyson Patrick make a big turn, but he had no play anywhere. So right out of the gate, a little bit off with his command is Cameron Gray, and all of a sudden you got bases loaded, nobody out.
And so it'll be the center fielder Buntrock as he took a walk down to third base, getting some, making sure he's receiving the right signal from third base coach here as this turns into a big at-bat here for the Falcons to try and get back in this game. First pitch from Gray is in there for a strike, taking all the way was Buntrock.
You never think bases loaded as any kind of a bunt situation, but Matt Stoddard certainly playing it that way in the corner of the infield grass, as is the first baseman Wood.
The 0-1 pitch was low and inside. 1-1 goes the count.
And you figure if nothing else, a ball hit to the corner infielders, they're going to come home and try and cut down that lead run, even with a 5-run lead.
Every run so important here. The 1-1 pitch from Gray as he hits a batter, and that's going to walk in a run. As now Gray has hit 2 batters here in this inning, Michael.
Yeah, ball just riding in, and it seems like Cameron Gray's having a hard time controlling his fastball. That's usually the first sign of trouble for a pitcher when he can't command his primary pitch, and that's going to prompt a visit from his coach right here, Everett.
Yeah, with that said, the command issues, there is action in the Humber Hawks bullpen, as I believe it is Travis Gortzen is up and throwing there.
And we told you that there were some struggles with Gray's command coming into today. In 6 2/3 innings, 10 walks and 3 strikeouts, so pitching to contact, and he did actually get 2 strikeouts in that first inning, but now a walk and 2 hit batters overall here, and hasn't recorded an out in this second inning.
And so it is still bases loaded for Gray with nobody out, and now that turns the lineup over as it is going to be Chris McQueen, the shortstop, coming to the plate here, the left-handed batter.
Yeah, McQueen starting things off with a single. heads up base running, moved to second on a wild pitch, to third on a strikeout, and came in to score on a fielder's choice.
First pitch is high again from Gray. McQueen comes into today hitting .435 with 10 hits on the season and 3 RBIs. Chopper hit the short, fielded cleanly, turned one out, turn 2 not in time at second, and another run will come across.
Number 2, Brady.
Just unable to turn 2. The speed on the base paths of the speedy leadoff man, Chris McQueen there, Michael.
Yeah, a good job by Sean Madsen. We saw yesterday, kind of tried to rush it and couldn't turn 2. They're just making sure you got the lead runner. At this point, this early in the game, you don't want to give any extra outs. And as you said, the speed of McQueen, I don't think they would have turned that even if they had gone smoothly. And Madsen, a little bit of a double clutch, but making sure to get that lead runner off the base paths.
The right fielder, Cody Murner, steps in with 1 away and runners on the corners. First pitch in there for a called strike. Gray, good job getting ahead of this batter here.
Yeah, Murner struck out in his first at bat, but that was the one where Coward dropped the ball and on his throw to first, that allowed McQueen to break for third and help set up that first run.
So the 0-1 pitch from Gray. Showing bunt, pulling away, running, runner is moving, no throw, as the speedy McQueen takes advances now. Runners at second and third for the Falcons.
Saw that a lot yesterday. First and third, always an advantageous situation for the runner at first to take off. Blake Cowher not wanting to throw through and allow the runner to break from third. So now you've got 2 runners in scoring position. Base hit can make this a 1-run game.
With just 1 out here recorded in the top half of the second inning. Push in there low. Cowher held it there for that extra second. 1-1 is the count there. Cowher holding it there, giving the official a chance to take maybe another extra second at that one.
Well, that's the art of framing there by Blake Cowher. Just didn't work there.
The 1-1 pitch is wide, and the runner is going to come home. And no throw. As just like that, the Falcons have chipped away, and it is now a 6-4 lead for the Hawks.
Yeah, good break by Jeremy Noonan there. Saw the ball get away, and no chance for Blake Cowher, even though he got a decent hop off the backstop. And now even just the ground ball makes this a 1-run game.
Runner will cross the plate, and as well, McQueen moved up on that wild pitch. The 2-1 is the count, and that is high. 3-1 goes the count here.
And it's got to be troubling because everything Cameron Gray is throwing is up in the zone, it seems like. That's a recipe for disaster when you're not commanding your fastball and missing high in the zone.
3-1 pitch, chopper hit to short. Fielded clean, he boots it. Was Madsen. Runner comes across.
He'd overthrow his fastball a little bit. Had a little more effectiveness finding the strike zone with the slower stuff.
The 0-1 pitch from King. Grounder hit they're going to say that went foul as it was just over the first base bag of Hames there.
Yeah, with only a 2-man umpiring crew, that's the home plate umpire's call, and he was definitive about that. Even though Humber thought maybe that did kick up some chalk, certainly hard for us to see from where we're sitting. Close call there.
Foul ball goes down as a strike as it's now King is ahead 0-2. 0-2 on Wood. The 0-2 pitch from King. Didn't get him to chase on the outside corner as it's now 1-2 the count.
Wood had a good approach in that first at-bat, ball right back up the middle and hit the second base bag. That slowed it down and allowed a run to come in and another runner to move up to third.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fly ball into center field. Coming in, tracking is Berntrock. It drops in between them, and that allows the runners to move up there. An outfield with a bloop single there that fell in between Patrick and Berntrock, as well as McQueen was tracking out from short.
Something about that Bermuda Triangle out in left center. We've seen a lot of balls here over this weekend hitting to that exact spot that have found grass. So just like that, 2 on, nobody out. Kenneth Honfield will bat. RBI double in his first AB.
Honfield comes into today hitting .286 on the season so far.
And another RBI opportunity. He's got 8 of them, second on the club.
Time called by Honfield.
It's working. I just can't get on the phone.
There's the 0-0 pitch to Honfield. And their hard hit ball down the right field line, but that is foul. Hard hit ball to Michael. Just got a little bit out in front of that one.
Yeah, as we said, King going a little softer here. He's had some trouble locating his fastball. He's seeming to guide the ball in just a little bit. And Kenneth Honfield was all over that, just a little too pull happy, pulling it down the right field side foul.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Low and inside for a ball. 1-1 is the count. The Hawks lead the Falcons by a score of 6-5 here, as the Bats have come alive early in this game. But a pitch grounder to first. That's going to get by the first baseman, Hames, as the runner. They'll hold the runner. No, they'll waving it around. Coming in to score is Wood, as the Hawks have put one on the board here in the top half of the third inning. That's his second RBI of the day for Hames.
Yeah, that ball kicked around out there by Cody Murner. Actually, they were going to hold the runner at third, Matson. So that's no RBI on the play. It is a base hit, but because of the E9, Matson scores, and Wood, who was going to stop at second, goes down to third base. So sloppy defense, really, both teams here in this second inning.
And so it'll be runners on the corners here for...
Matt Stoddard will bat. An RBI double.
Showing bunt, lays the bunt down. That goes right back to the pitcher. Moving them up, but again, good play there by the bunt. Heads up base running by Len Wood, coming home on the bunt back to the pitcher.
Yeah, sack bunt goes down 1-3, but really the big play there is that Len Wood basically give him an assist for the RBI that's going to get credited to Matt Stoddard. It was a bunt that went right back to the pitcher, and you figured the only function it would have would be moving the runner Honfield up to second. But a heads-up play by Wood, breaking for home and coming in to score.
Honfield does go to second as Colin Gringrich comes into bat. And that's a hard hit ball. That's going to drop in front of the left fielder, Patrick, holding up the runner at third, as it's now runners on the corners here with one away in the top half of the third inning.
Yeah, just serving that ball the other way, taking what Christian King gives him. And Christian King not fooling anybody here in the second inning. And just as we say that, we see a left-hander getting loose down in the Fanshawe bullpen. Try and see who that is.
As now Blake Cower, the catcher, steps in with runners on the corners here and a chance to extend this lead for the Hawks, which is now an 8-6 lead. 8-5. First pitch in there, breaking ball for a strike. The 0-1 pitch from King just misses on the outside corner here, as it's now 1-1 the count here, with still just one away here. The 1-1 pitch from King. Hard hit ball, comebacker right to the mound. King turns around, gets the force at second, turns back. Does he get the out at first? He does. And so the Falcons get out of the second inning, but not before the Humber plates two across here in the bottom of the second, as it is now an 8-5 lead here for the Hawks.
Yeah, that's a gutsy play by Christian King. Saw the runner breaking for home, but he was confident enough that he could turn that 1-6-3 double play, and sure enough, he did, and Fanshawe gets out of further trouble. That's not good. Yeah. Okay, Cody Fanshawe, right? Yeah, I'll write that down for us, guys. but it's pronounced Boehner. 33 for Fanshaw's loosening up the lefty, so I don't know if he'll come in.
Yep.
Where do you got the next two?
This must be only for state. Okay. Save us so advanced base runner. Tell him that he stayed there. Oh yeah, he stayed.
So we've had a wild couple of innings here so far.
Yeah, Paul, the bats have been alive here in this game here after 2 innings. As well, the bats have been alive, Paul, but there have been some command issues. There have been 4 batters hit, as well as a couple throwing errors, as Mike was alluding to.
Absolutely not a great day if you're a pitcher for either side. See down in the Fanshawe bullpen, that's Cody Boehner, number 33, warming up for them. So you wonder if Christian King's day is done.
No, but on the mound for the Hawks is
still number 19, Cameron Gray.
Cameron Gray. There was some action in the Hawks bullpen last inning, but Gray settled down and still confident in his stuff.
And he stands in here against Mike Ambrose. First pitch is a ball, 1-0. Another cloudy day here at Connervale Park. The 1-0 from Gray, outside, ball 2. Saw the sky play some havoc yesterday. And the ball's up in that sky, kind of blends in with the clouds. 2-0 from Gray, inside and a little bit up as well, 3-0 now.
We've seen that in the first couple innings. Gray really having a hard time getting the ball down as he's leaking his fastballs up high in the zone.
That one in there for a strike through 2. The leadoff batter has gotten on in every half inning so far. Here's the 3-1 from Gray. Hit on the ground to third. Now it's the shortstop, Matson, who picks it up. Throw to first. In time. Wow. Nice throw from Matson. He had to go way back in the hole and then made a great throw to Wood at first.
Matson, yeah, like you said, deep in the hole, ranges to his right, and able to throw off his back foot, make the throw all the way over to first base, and Wood able to corral that throw to get the leadoff out.
And the leadoff man retired for the first time this game. That'll help starter Cameron Gray. He throws a first pitch, and that's fouled off. Number 10, Brian Hames. Hames hitting .250 coming into the weekend. He struck out in the first. Here's the 0-1. Looked like a slider there from Gray, but that's outside. And the count is even at 1-1.
I think if you're Gray this inning, you want to, again, importance of a shutdown inning. Your team's put a couple runs on the board for you.
Absolutely. Another good pitch there. And he's quickly ahead 1-2. Gray looks in. The windup. Here's the 1-2. Strike 3 called. Good pitch. Looked like a slider maybe from Gray, and it froze Brian Hames.
That was maybe the first batter all game where I've really noticed Gray consistently, pitch after pitch, kept the ball down in the strike zone, Paul.
Absolutely having a tough time doing that so far. But he gets the second Fanshawe batter, and it'll be Tyson Patrick, the left fielder. He takes way outside. That's ball 1. Patrick had a big hit in the first game that these two teams played at Labatt Park. With the bases loaded, he hit a 2-run single to walk off the Hawks. That was back in September. He takes that pitch for a strike, and it's 1-1. Patrick hitting .235. Hits that one to center. And it looks like it'll be an easy play for Campos. It is. Looks it into his glove. 3 up, 3 down for the first time this game. And we go to the bottom of 3. Humber still leading it 8-5.
And there's finally a 0 on the board for the Humber Hawks defense and pitching staff, as the importance of that big, like I said, the big shutdown inning after your team has put on a couple of runs for you and extended your lead, responded there. The importance of a good shutdown inning from Gray.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See what I did? I always do that. Yeah. Sorry. It's like a fun person. You don't have to.
So for Humber, they'll lead off with their number 9 hitter, Andrew Thompson, playing left field today. They'll be followed by Andreopoulos, hitting for the 3rd time in 3 innings. And then Daniel Campos, the center fielder.
And it's still going to be Christian King on the mound here to start the bottom half of the 3rd inning.
We mentioned
for the
Cody
Hawks.
Boehner. He might be ready, or they might have decided to give Christian King a little bit of a longer leash because Boehner has sat back down in that Fanshawe bullpen. Humber threatened last inning. They did score 2. Still had a runner on when Blake Coward grounded into a double play. A little bit nicer day today than yesterday.
Yeah, the weather, kind of more of a typical day here weather-wise for early October. As yesterday, it felt like it was, I don't know, towards the end of the month, Halloween-type weather where the kids are going trick-or-treating. It always seems to be pouring rain, windy, and cold on Halloween. That's what it kind of felt like yesterday here.
No rain expected today, and it's a little bit warmer than it was yesterday.
Also, no trick-or-treaters expected here today.
Hopefully not. So in steps Andrew Thompson.
Number 6, Andrew Thompson.
Hitting from the left side. And facing Christian King. Humber up 8-3 here in the 3rd. 8-5 here in the 3rd. First pitch from King in there for a strike.
Thompson came into the weekend just hitting 192 on the season, recording 5 hits and 26 at-bats. That pitch.
And the 0-1 well outside. Even the count at 1-1. Thompson popped up to 3rd in his last at-bat. King looks in, gets the sign, and he's ready. Here's the 1-1. Right in there and slapped to the gap. The center fielder not going to get there. And there goes Thompson. He's at second. He's making the turn. He's going for 3. The throw in from the center fielder, Buntrock, not even close. And Andrew Thompson just mentioned he was struggling a little bit at the plate. Well, he hits a triple to the gap.
Yeah, Thompson went down and got that pitch. As that pitch from King was down in the zone, but Thompson went down and got it, hit it off, kind of a little bit the end of the bat there and drove that, like you said, to the gap, and it got right all the way up to the warning track there as Thompson is aboard here with a triple.
One of those players who looked like Buntrock tried to cut it off before it could get to the wall, and if you miss it, then you've got a straight run back, and that allowed Thompson to get all the way to 3rd. And now Steven Andreopoulos gets hit, and it'll put runners on the corners here for Humber.
Daniel.
Nobody out here in the 3rd.
And another thing on top of that leadoff triple there by Thompson, if you're the Hawks, that's your number 9 batter getting on base with a triple to turn the lineup over. And now your number 1 hitter, Andropoulos, gets on base being hit by a pitch.
Definitely helps. The one thing you notice looking up and down these lineups, Humber's 7, 8, and 9 hitters considerably better than Fanshawe's 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, statistically coming into today, this weekend, absolutely agree.
So Daniel Campos stands in, sitting 310.
We've seen it already earlier in this game, the advantageous play to try and want to advance the runner at first to second here with runners at the corners.
Andreopoulos does have 7 stolen bases on the year, 8 after his steal in the first. He's been on base all 3 times.
Showed steal there, but was a good pitch out play there by Refalingas there as he forced Andropoulos to break back to first.
But you're in tough now if you're Christian King down 2-0 to Daniel Campos. King gets the sign, comes set. That pitch, Campos slaps that one to left field, and that's going to bring in another Humber run. It's now 9-5.
Again, that's just a good piece of hitting there by Daniel Campos. He waited on that, and he went down and got it and slapped that one the other way into left field, and it brought the runner in from third to extend this lead here for the Hawks.
And a mound meeting now for Fanshawe. This game very much in danger of getting away from them here.
There's now a 9-5 lead here for the Hawks in the bottom half of the third inning with no outs.
Yeah, you're still well away from that 10-run mercy. But things are not looking good. 2 on here with nobody out. It'll bring Sean Matson to the plate. Matson with a great play last inning, going deep into the hole at short. Made a great throw to Wood at first. He steps in, hitting .478 with 9 RBI.
His bat has been equally as impressive as his play in the field so far this season.
He's another Hawk who's been on in his first 2 at-bats today. Big breaking ball from King, but it misses. He's having a tough time throwing strikes, and it's 1-0. Just not getting ahead of hitters here this afternoon. Humber base runners staying close to the bag. And now they break. It's a double steal foul tip, though, and they'll have to go back. Did they ever get a good break, especially Andriopoulos there at second?
Unfortunate there that it did end up being the foul tip, as, yeah, like you said, both runners at first and second got great reads, early jump there, and it would have been tough play to get either of them there.
Absolutely. Sometimes as a batter, if you see that your runners get a great lead, you'll take a pitch and let them steal those bags, but it doesn't always work out that way. So the count is 1-1 to Matson. 2 men on here in the Humber third. Andriopoulos off the bag at second. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss.
Good late movement there on that pitch there from King, as that he had the batter Matson swinging for the fences there on that one.
Been trying to entice Humber hitters into swinging at that sinker all day, and they just been letting it drop out of the zone for a ball. Been very, very patient so far. It's the count 1-2 to Matson. Here's the pitch, well high.
That pitch again, nowhere near the strike zone there from King, as he's definitely having command issues here coming in, having forced into this game here early on in relief appearance.
And Bain standing in that Fanshawe bullpen, not throwing. Looks like this might be Christian King's last batter, depending on whether or not he can get Matson. Here's the 2-2, and the runners are going. A throw down to second, not even close. Good job, though, by the second baseman, Noonan. That throw was in the dirt and nearly got away from him. That would have allowed a run to score. As it is, both Humber runners move up on the double steal. Andriopoulos to third, Campos to second.
Andriopoulos and Campos again. A couple pitches earlier, they had the double steal on, but at the foul tip, they had to go back. They held it off for a couple of pitches. Third base coach put it back on, and they executed it to perfection again there, Paul.
Definitely did, and I wonder what Reflinghouse was doing, throwing down to second there. It's the longer throw, and
it was to the first base side of the field. The throw looked a little bit short too, so needless to say, it's runners at second and third, nobody out here as the Hawks lead by a score of 9-5.
King looks in, taking his time. Here's the payoff pitch. Strike 3 called. Matson doesn't look happy.
He was breaking out of the batter's box there, heading for what he thought was going to be a first base here. As like you said, this pitching coach out to the mound here visiting King.
And regardless of getting the strikeout of Matson, that is indeed Christian King's last batter. Bain will come into the game for Fanshawe. King goes just 2 1/3 in relief. The 2 runners at second and third are, of course, his responsibility. Bain, a tall left-hander, wearing number 33 for Fanshawe. And this is a big moment in the game right here, Everett. 2 men on Humber, already up by 4. And Fanshawe has shown the ability to put up some runs and get themselves back into this game once. But you don't want to fall behind by 6 again.
No, certainly not. If you're Boehner coming into this game, you want to, in this situation here with runners on and just 1 out, you want to definitely look to get a strikeout here, I would think, or a ground ball out to try and keep the runners at bay and the score still manageable. Because, hey, on the flip side of this, the Fanshawe Falcons bats they've been shown the ability to put up runs so far, as they were already down by 4 runs earlier, and they were able to answer. So keep this this deficit manageable if you're Cody Boehner coming into this game, and hopefully the bats can pick you up.
Absolutely true. So a couple of left-handed hitters in a row here, and maybe that's the thinking behind bringing in the left-hander Boehner.
Now batting number 8,
Len Wood with a big game in that first doubleheader against Fanshawe. Had 5 RBIs, including a 2-run home run. He'd love to add a couple here with runners at second and third. It is 9-5 Humber. Here in the bottom of the third, Wood takes outside, ball 1. Wood hitting .313 coming into this game. As we mentioned, the 1 home run, 7 RBI. 5 of those came in that game against Fanshawe. Gets one over the plate. Looks like it jammed him a little bit. The second baseman, Noonan, settles under it. And that's the second out.
Like I said, Boehner comes in and forces a fly out. Kind of Wood got a little bit, that pitch was high in the zone. He kind of maybe saw RBI written all over that one, but just got under it a little bit there.
A little bit harder to get around on that pitch as a left-handed hitter. You've got just a little bit less time to react. I'll bring up Ken Honfeld now. Takes strike 1 called.
Nice breaking ball there from Boehner.
It's got 0-1 on Honfeld. Up these base runners and really put the pressure on Fanshawe here early. 0-1 thinks about it, holds back. Ball in the dirt, and the count is even at 1-1.
Boehner looks like he's trying to work down and away here to these left-handed batters of the Hawks.
Not a bad idea, but there is a big hole on that left side. The third baseman playing close to the bag. The shortstop playing closer to the bag at second. So if he can take one of those pitches on the outside part of the plate and hit it to left, that might score a couple. Swinging through the ball there, and that's back to the fence. And the count moves to 1-2.
Just a little late there. Was Hanfeld. Just couldn't quite get around on it.
Honfeld playing right today. Hitting .286 coming in. Here's the 1-2 from Boehner. Swing and a high fly ball down the third base line in foul territory, but playable.
Nope.
And it drops in. That's a tough ball. Third baseman Ambrose was there. McQueen came over. Left fielder Patrick there as well. And nobody could find it.
Yeah, Ambrose got a little turned around there in foul territory, as I think he kind of overplayed that ball and then had it, or maybe the ball just drifted back a little bit towards the field of play there, but needless to say, works in the favor here of the Hawks.
So the count's still at 1-2. Boehner comes set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He gets Honfeld swinging, and what a job Cody Boehner does for the Fanshawe Falcons. He comes in with runners at second and third, just 1 away.
Yeah.
It's a harmless fly ball to second, and then strikes out Ken Honfeld. And what do you know? The Falcons are still in this game.
Still in this game here, as they're only down 9-5, and they put up a 4 spot in the 4th inning. So runs haven't been haven't been a problem so far this game for the Hawks, for the Falcons, batters. And what has been a hitting filled game here in the Battle of the Birds here, the Hawks against the Falcons here at Connervale Park.
A ton of runs. Not really what you'd expect out of Fanshawe. Fanshawe sits dead last in the OCAA in a lot of offensive categories. They rank last in hits, in extra base hits, in walks, in average and slugging percentage, but they've put up 5 here already, and they're going to need at least 4 more to get back into this one.
No, hopefully if you're Cameron Gray on the mound here for this comes out for the top half of the 4th inning for the Hawks, you need a shutdown inning. You need to, show your defense and show that you're settled in, and they can as well as count on some solid defense in behind him, which we've seen so far with the play from Matson, that the defense is on their game today so far as well.
They have been pretty sharp. There were those couple of errors in the second that led to a couple of runs. McRae looked real good last time out in the third. He'll look to continue that here.
Leading off for the Falcons, number 28, Alex Shanu.
Leading off for the Falcons is Alex Shanu, the number 7 hitter. First pitch from Gray is low and inside, nearly clipping Shanu. That's definitely not what you want to do here. As the count is the 1-0.
Gray has not been afraid to work inside to those Falcons hitters.
The 1-0 pitch from Gray. Just as you say that, he tries to get on the chase to the outside, misses off the plate there. As Gray falls behind here, 2-0 to Shanu. The 2-0 pitch from Gray is a chopper right back to Gray. Gray will just underhand it there to first base to Wood to record the out, as now there's one away here in the first inning. Fair 4th inning, sorry.
And if you can hit that inside part of the plate consistently, it does let you go outside, maybe move the ball a little bit off the plate and get some hitters chasing, but Gray so far hasn't had terrific command of those corners. He's looking to rectify that here in the 4th.
Then the number 8 hitter, Jeremy Nonen, comes in. Takes a first pitch strike on the inside half of the plate there. Nonen comes in, like you said, hitting just 184 here. 154. The 1-0 pitch in there, swing and a miss as it's now 0-2 on Shanu.
Gray coming right after the 7-8-9.
The 0-2 pitch, tries to get him to chase outside. No. No saying no. As the count now, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Again, just misses on the outside. Coward tried to do his best to frame it there.
Just a little bit too far off the plate to sell that one to the home plate umpire.
The 2-2 pitch from Gray. Just misses inside. The count goes full.
So we gotta do this because if we get lost.
It's the payoff pitch from Gray. Is a chopper, sent foul behind the home plate.
Don't want to walk him here. We talked about it earlier. The 7-8-9 for the Falcons, not very strong. And last time around, you hit 2 of them and gave them free passes. So come right after him here.
The 3-2 pitch is hit right to the second baseman. Andropoulos fielded cleanly, throws over to Wood to record the out. Now there's 2 away here in the top of the 4th inning.
And it certainly does look like Cameron Gray is settling in nicely. He's now retired the last 5 batters he's faced. The last 6 batters he's faced.
Ian Kerrigan.
Is now number 14, Ian Kerrigan. He takes a first pitch called strike. There's the 0-1 pitch. Is high. 1-1.
Just forget about this.
Kerrigan comes in today hitting .333 on the season. The 1-1 pitch. Just couldn't get around on that one as that one goes foul.
And so Gray 1 pitch away from a second straight perfect inning.
The 1-2 pitch is in there for a called strike. He strikes out the side, goes down looking. As it is a 1, 2, 3, fourth inning here for Gray.
And out to 0.
As the Hawks, after top half of the fourth inning, still lead by a score of 9-5. Paul
Everett, you and Mike talked about it a little bit earlier that Gray didn't have his fastball command, and it looks like he's found it. When you have that fastball command, it lets you do so much else. Able to drop that slider in for strike 3, and all Kerrigan could do was look at it.
Exactly, and the importance now, you look at the score sheet there, a 0 put up in the third inning by Gray, as well as a 0 put up in the fourth inning by Gray. Really, as I say, settling in here, Gray appears to be, as if you're the Humber Bats, that's a good thing. If you know you're hitting and your pitcher's on his game, it gives the batters the an extra thing that, hey, I'm going to go after this pitch, because my pitcher's going to shut it down.
Very true. You love to keep your defense on their toes when you're throwing strikes, putting pitches over the plate. That's what keeps your defense behind you in the game. And Gray really has settled in when you factor in the couple of hit-by pitches and a couple of errors in the second inning. Fanshawe has scored their 6 runs on just 2 base hits. Not often that you see that.
No. It's going to be Stoddard, Gingrich, and Cower due up here in the bottom half of the fourth inning.
Stoddard had what I believe was his first base hit of the season back in the first with that RBI double.
And it is still Cody Boehner on the mound here for the Hawks in the bottom half of the fourth inning.
Of course, Humber scored 6 in that big first inning. They batted around. Stoddard had an RBI double and then came in himself on.
Leading off for the Hawks, number 21, Matt Stoddard.
Came in on Andreopoulos' RBI single.
And so, the left-handed hitting Stoddard. Again, lefty on lefty, which proved to be the last 2 outs. They're difficult for the Hawks there in the bottom half of the third inning. The pitch from Boehner in there for a called strike.
Yeah, Everett, it's not often that you'll see a team line up 3 left-handed hitters in a row. Usually you like to break them up so that the other team can't bring in a lefty.
The 0-1 pitch is popped up right to the shortstop, McQueen. He's under it. And just like that, his third lefty retired there by Boehner.
Gingrich.
As it is now Keegan Murphy steps into the game here.
Excuse me, number 23, Keegan Murphy.
Both teams going to the bench early here, something we didn't see yesterday.
Murphy, a high fly ball hit out into center field. The center fielder, Buntrock, is under it, records the deep fly out there, as there is now 2 away here.
Number 9, Blake Cower.
The catcher, Cower, sets in here. Coincidentally, on the other side of it, Cody Boehner. It is McQueen has moved from shortstop to center field here for the Falcons, as Cower takes first pitch in there for a strike. And Farrington has replaced McQueen at shortstop. The 0-1 pitch right down Broadway, called strike. Cower falls behind here, 0-2 early. The 0-2 pitch, brushing Cower off the plate there. Cower steps back. The 1-2 pitch from Boehner. Gets some foul tip there as the count remains at 1-2.
Cower way ahead of that breaking pitch, but manages to stay on it enough to tip it into the dirt and stay alive.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Boehner. Fouled off again there by Cower, staying alive here in this at-bat. Boehner has really settled in here in the bottom half of the third and so far here this fourth inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Boehner. Swing and a miss. He struck him out as Boehner sets down the Hawks 1-2-3 to put a 0 on the board. And so after 4 innings, it is still Humber Hawks 9, Fanshawe Falcons 5.
We don't keep up with this. So
Do you got these?
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, come that again?
Do you want to do the play-by-play in the 5th or the 6th?
Yeah, I'll do it in the 6th.
All right, so I'll do the 5th, and then when you come back.
Oh, if you want to do 6-7, you're saying you want to go straight 6-7?
Or a 5-7, either one.
Yeah.
All right, you just take this one.
All right. Turn the mic steps and try to figure out. So Barrington is in at shortstop.
Oh, we got two.
So now the center fielder came out. So Barrington, not.
Oh, I'm gonna have to switch to this one.
Was that last inning or this is this inning?
I think Barrington was in for last inning.
Did he pinch hit?
Yeah.
For who?
I believe he pinch hit for Bunrock.
What's his name?
I don't know. I don't have it.
Barrington. So he's the one that struck out then in the inning.
I don't even see it.
Carrigan. Do you see the number?
Okay.
14.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's
I know.
Carrigan.
It's, I'll tell you in a second. Yeah, it's Ian Carrigan, number 14.
What's he hit? I'll take a look.
You said he hit for Bunrock.
sorry, I saw a bunch of changes up there.
Yeah, no, thanks for
No
jumping
worries.
back. Ready to go?
Yeah, but who changed?
Number 6,
Look at your thing.
Chris
Bunrock.
McQueen.
No, yeah. No.
So we're back here for the top of the fifth. Humber leading things 9-5 here at Connervale Park in Etobicoke. Cameron Gray still on the mound for the Hawks. He's really settled in. He's retired 7 straight hitters. And he faces center fielder Chris McQueen. McQueen shuffling over, or rather back, to center field. And Ian Kerrigan takes over at short. Here's the 1-0. Kind of, sort of showing bunt. And he'll take strike one. Gray winds, deals. That one hit out to center. And it's going to drop in front of Daniel Campos. And
Number 2,
Fanshawe has their first base runner
Murner.
since the second.
Chris McQueen's been a tough out today. 2 for 3 on base 3 times if you include that fielder's choice. He brought home a run. Also has a stolen base in this one. We know he's got speed, so we'll see if he's going over at first.
So Cody Murner steps in, still looking for his first hit of the season. And he'll do so with McQueen at first. Here comes Gray. He's outside. 1-0. Fanshawe scored 1 in the first. To take an early 1-0 lead. Of course, Humber responded with 6 of their own in the bottom half. Here comes Gray, runner going. Throw down to second. In time. Nice tag by Andriopoulos. Better throw from Blake Cower behind the plate. And Humber very quickly erases that first base runner.
Now, we told you McQueen's got speed, and they may try and test it. Fanshawe running themselves into and out here, and that's big. You got a 4-run deficit. You get a runner on leading off the 5th, and just like that, he's out.
And you can see the reasoning on Fanshawe's side. They're down by a bunch, but they are not a very good hitting team, so they're going to try to play some small ball and scratch and claw their way back into it. The problem, though, is you're already in the 5th. 1-1 is in low. 2-1 to Cody Murner. Murner playing right today for the Falcons. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Gray working quickly here, looking a lot more confident than in those opening 2 innings.
You mentioned the lack of offense. 5 runs, but only 4 hits so far for Fanshawe.
Swing and a high fly ball to center. Campos back, sets up under it, makes the grab. 2 gone here in the Fanshawe 5th.
Number 19, Sean Reflinghouse.
Reflinghouse walked in the first and then rounded into a double play in the second to kill a little bit of a Fanshawe rally. They put up 4 in the second. At the time, that made things a 1-run game at 6-5. First pitch in low. And here's the 1-0 in there for a strike. 1-1.
Really seen Gray settle down here after a couple of tough innings.
That one fouled back. And it's 1-2. For that leadoff single to McQueen, he had retired 7 straight. Showing a little bit better fastball command than he did in the first 2 innings.
Yeah, you wonder about that layoff between the first and second.
Ray throws that good slider, but fouled off by Reflinghouse to stay alive. The count remains at 1-2. Humber leading 9-5 here in the top of the 5th. Ray deals. Oh, Cower made to trot off the field. He thought Gray had thrown strike 3, and the umpire disagrees.
Yeah, a little discussion there between Reflinghouse and Cower. Get the 2 catchers talking about it. Feel like, hey, you're showing us up.
And a little bit of jawing, you're right. That's number 22, Mike Ambrose, who came over from the on-deck circle, and things getting heated. Some players coming out of the dugout. Looks like cooler heads will prevail right now, but the dugouts have emptied. Both teams on the field here. And all of this after Blake Cower caught what he thought was strike 3 and made to trot off the field a little bit early. Both teams now turning and heading back to their dugouts, and this might make the rest of the game a little bit more interesting.
Well, you know, Fanshawe taking it as a sign of disrespect. I'll tell you, the only guy that really should be upset is the home plate umpire, who's the one who's shown up. I'm not sure what Fanshawe's barking about. Yeah, maybe a little presumptuous on Cower's part to assume he got the strike 3 call, but some jawing going on between the 2 catchers. Looked to me like it was initiated by Reflinghouse at the plate, saying, hey, get back in there. And eventually cooler heads do prevail, but
not often you see that from a catcher either. Usually it's a hitter who will start to trot down toward first, or a pitcher who kind of falls off the mound and starts to head back to the dugout. Not often you see that from a catcher.
Yeah, you're right, unusual, but both benches now have been warned, and we've already seen a number of hit batters here in this game too. Certainly nothing intentional, lack of command by the pitchers, but you better be careful now. That takes away the inside portion of the plate.
You're right, Mike, with attentions here, and sure enough, Cameron Gray throws that slider inside to Reflinghouse to run the count full at 3-2. And you wonder if the umps might be a little bit more careful, you're right, with the inside stuff. Now here's the payoff pitch from Gray, well outside of the backstop, and the Falcons have another base runner here in the 5th.
Well, the inside slider and then the over-compensatory pitch, if you will, from Gray saying, hey, I don't want to keep pitching inside because I'm told I'm not allowed to. It'll be interesting to see how that changes the pitcher's approach, knowing that, hey, if I hit a batter, that might be it for me. And he came after Reflinghouse with a slider. Certainly didn't look to be any intent, but wanted to show that he wants to have that inside portion of the plate. Pitchers hate having that taken away from them. I understand it.
And now you have Mike Ambrose stepping in with the runner on. Ambrose, of course, was the one who came over from the on-deck circle to kind of get in the middle of Reflinghouse and Cower. He takes ball 1 high, 1-0. Ambrose hitting .462 and OBP of 611. And that pitch is outside on the backstop. That's a wild pitch. And it'll allow Reflinghaus to go to second. So all of a sudden here, the Falcons, who are trying to claw their way back into this one, have a runner in scoring position here with 2 outs in the 5th.
Paul, you can see the body language of Cameron Gray. He looks a little bit rattled in the sense of he doesn't want to make a mistake inside. We've seen him pull the last few pitches, including that wild pitch, maybe compensating a little bit extra.
And now he plunks Ambrose.
Did you just hit him?
And I wonder now if the umpire might issue a warning. It doesn't look like it.
Well, a friendly exchange between the coaches, and this may be a visit to sort of calm Cameron Gray down here. He had the delay, but that's going to be it for him. Certainly looked a little bit unnerved by what we just saw, the exchange, as again, both sides, of course, were a little heated about it. Cameron Gray with some words now as he departs the field, directed toward the Fanshawe bench.
And so the 2 runners at first and at second are Gray's responsibility. He has pitched a good game so far, did give up 5 runs, at least to this point. But he really settled in after that second inning and was an out away from getting out of this 5th inning. 1, 2, 3. Then the walk to Reflinghaus after that exchange at home plate, and he hits Mike Ambrose. And all of a sudden, Fanshawe is threatening here. And it brings in Tyler Geertsen. And Geertsen looking for a little redemption here. He was on the mound in Game 1, that first doubleheader at that park in London on September 18th. The Hawks were up 4-2 in that one. A walk with the bases loaded made it 4-3. Geertsen came out to try to get the last 2 outs, and that was when Tyson Patrick laced a 2-run single to walk things off of the Falcons. So you know Geertsen would love to come in here and shut down the Falcons.
Yeah, all of a sudden this game looked like it might get away from Fanshawe. They've hung in. Give credit to Cody Boehner for shutting things down. Last inning had a threat, or a couple innings ago, I should say, and that's allowed Fanshawe to have an opportunity here. One swing of the bat ball, this could be a 1-run game again, so a big spot to come into if you're Tyler Geertsen.
And I think you have to give some credit, too, to Mike Ambrose. There was that exchange at home plate. He was part of it, walking over from the on-deck circle, and he gets plunked and has the good sense to realize that it was not at all intentional. You're at a key point in the game. No way that Gray's trying to hit you on purpose. And he does the right thing and walks on down to first base.
Well, I think Gray just unnerved by everything that happened. That's a lack of command. There's no intent on his part, especially given the warning that was just issued to both benches.
So 2 outs, 2 on. Brian Hames steps in. He's struck out twice. First pitch from Geertsen outside. 1-0. 9-5 for Hubbard, but the Falcons looking to chip away here. They'll need a big 2-out hit to do it. Geertsen looks in, he deals. That's there on the outside corner, nice pitch. Evens the count at 1-1. Hames comes in batting .250. He hits from the right side. Facing a righty on the mound in Geertsen. Geertsen looks, deals, swing and a miss. And he's ahead 1-2. A big at-bat here in the top of the 5th.
Just a note on Cameron Gray, came in with only 3 strikeouts in 6 2/3, had 3 strikeouts here today in 4 2/3 innings. More hit batters than walks.
Geertsen, strike 3, big hook there. Hames not at all happy. But that's the hat trick for him, 3 strikeouts today. And we'll go to the Humber 5th. Humber leads things 9-5 here at Carnervale Park. And we'll look to see if Boehner comes back out for the Fanshawe Falcons. Haven't seen any activity in their bullpen, and Boehner's been kind of a steadying force so far.
Almost surprised they didn't go to him sooner. He looks like he's got pretty good command. Christian King was sort of fighting himself a little bit, did an okay job to stabilize things after the horrific outing by Travis Rice, but Cody Boehner looks like the guy that maybe should have been out there before Christian King even, so we'll see if he can keep Fanshawe in the game. You're down by 4 runs with only 2 turns at bat left, so certainly at a premium right now. We can close the book on Cameron Gray. 4 2/3 gives up the 4 runs all earned on 4 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Told you he hit 3 batters and had a couple wild pitches. But overall, Paul, what's the biggest thing as a pitcher? Just keep your team in the game, give your team a chance. Wasn't the world's greatest outing for Cameron Gray, but he's in line to get OW.
Absolutely. And in a weekend like this, both teams played a doubleheader yesterday. Both teams obviously playing today in a doubleheader. Managing your pitching, managing the innings becomes so important. And so you're right. If you can go for and keep your team in the game, well, that's really all they can ask. Of course, Humber, 2 of their 3 big guns, and Andrew Blakey and Brandon MBB have not yet pitched. Wonder if we'll see them maybe later on today or in game 2.
Yeah, this is a big bounce back afternoon for Humber. You lose the 2 games yesterday, not just the 2 losses, but the nature of those losses, both close games, and you lose Brandon Lyons as well to a wrist injury. So to come out and even just to get this first win, I think will take a lot of pressure off going into that second game of the doubleheader.
Well, and especially when you look at what Fanshawe did yesterday, went into Durham, won both games, and granted they've played 2 fewer games. Humber has played 2 fewer games. But with those 2 wins yesterday, Fanshawe moved into a tie with Humber for second place in the OCAA. So it is indeed Boehner back in for the Falcons. He throws the first pitch low for ball 1. Stepping in is number 6, the left fielder Andrew Thompson. Lefty-lefty matchup here.
Thompson really had a nice swing on that last at bat, ripped that ball into the gap for a triple, and came around to score on the base hit by Campos.
2-0 in there for a strike on the inside part of the plate, and it's 2-1. In there for a strike right across the heart of the plate. Wonder if Thompson was expecting something else. The count moves to 2-2. Boehner looks in. He deals. Big hook, and that comes in just high. Boehner sets up way to the right of that pitching rubber. A little bit unconventional for a left-handed pitcher.
An open stance.
Comes home on the 3-2. That one's low and in the dirt. Good eye from Thompson, and he'll move up to first with the free pass.
Steven Andropoulos.
Andropoulos comes up here. He's been up 3 times, and he's been on base all 3 times. Had a walk in the first, RBI single in the second, and was hit by a pitch in the third.
Helping create some offense, couple of stolen bases as well.
Another lefty-lefty match. A lot of lefties in this Humber lineup. Pops it up on the bunt attempt. Diving effort by the catcher, Reflinghaus, and he just misses it. Dangerous play there. Almost jammed his glove hand into the field, but it looks like he's all right. And we'll reset. Count 0-1 here on Andropoulos.
Yeah, Reflinghaus just for a split second couldn't locate the ball. That cost him the opportunity. So he gave it a great effort. Almost came up with that.
Andropoulos with some speed, 7 stolen bases on the year. He's a tough guy to double up. Throw over. Thompson with a bit of an aggressive lead, and he'll scamper back. Andropoulos looking for a sign from his third base coach. He's ready, and he'll stand in. Boehner comes set, checks the runner, and deals pitch low. And the count is even at 1-1. Andropoulos now with 8 stolen bases. Actually stole that base in the first inning. And came around to score on Sean Matson's RBI single. Slaps that ball to right field just past the runner. Andropoulos not going to head to third. Good job by the right fielder, Murner, to get to that ball quickly. But Humber, with their first two men on here in the bottom of the fifth. And they are threatening again. They've been threatening all afternoon, it seems.
Humber making good use of that first base hole on the right side. Hit a lot of balls hard in that direction. And with a 4-run lead, don't want to be too aggressive. If you're Andrew Thompson, get runners at first and second, no outs. Another speedy hitter coming up in Daniel Campos.
Campos with an RBI single his last time up and stole a base. He's bunting, and that bunt goes well foul up over the high part of the screen here. And it's 0-1. Campos, we've seen him a couple of times try to get that bunt down well, moving out of the box towards first, and it hasn't been very successful for him. I think he just needs to square that bat up and get that bunt down before he takes off. Count here's 0-1, both runners going, and no throw. The double steal for Humber puts two in scoring position with nobody out, and the heart of the order due up.
Picked the right pitch to go on. Slow breaking ball there from Boehner.
And it would have been a tough play to make, but that's the second time that we've seen Reflinghaus take a pitch with runners going and just hold on. You wonder if his confidence maybe isn't there. Trying to catch runners. Big lead for Andropoulos at second. He's almost halfway to third.
5 stolen bases now in this game for the Humber Hawks. A couple of double steals, so not afraid to be aggressive.
So count 1-2 on Campos. Another lefty-lefty matchup. Boehner comes home. That one high in the air, not very deep, but it's going to be trouble maybe. And it drops in front of the in front of the shortstop, Farrington. A couple of players converging, and that's a tough play all around. As the shortstop, you kind of want to circle back around that ball. Farrington was facing right back toward left field, and that's a tough play to make when you're looking out away from the diamond.
Yeah, Paul, what is it about that shallow left center field area here this weekend? We've seen a lot of balls just kind of die out there. Left fielder can't get in. The shortstop doesn't get out on it. Finds a place to land. Amazing how many times we've seen it in that particular part of the field here over these couple of days.
Very true, as that pitch is in there to Sean Matson. For a strike count moves to 1-1, and you're right, that gray sky hasn't been as much of a factor here today. Sky a little bit darker than it was yesterday. Here's Boehner, runners going again, and again, no throw from Reflinghaus, and you wonder if the Humber Hawks have picked up on something, had a lot of time to throw down to third there, but he holds onto it again.
Yeah, a little double clutch there, third double steal of the game, and it's working. Why not keep doing it if you're Humber?
So Humber up 10-5 here in the bottom of the fifth, and threatening again. 2 on at second and third. Nobody out as Matson fouls one back to the fence. Matson hitting right-handed, ending a long string of lefty hitters for Humber. I guess you like your lineup to be a certain way, but odd that you'd see so many left-handed hitters back-to-back. Boehner is set. He deals. Swing and a miss. And they do, in fact, get Matson via the strikeout. Won't try for first base. And there's finally one out here for Fanshawe in the bottom of the fifth. So Len Wood comes up. Of course, he had that big game against Fanshawe last time. 5 RBIs, 2 by way of the home run. And you know he'd love to do that here. Boehner comes out. Here's the first pitch. Rips that ball to right field, but well foul. Wood all over that one.
Yeah, Wood had that 2-run single to first. Turns out that's the hit that gave the Hawks the lead, and they haven't looked back since. They've been in front since that 2-run single in the bottom of the first by Len Wood.
Matson hit by a pitch in the second, then struck out in the third. Wood. Sorry, those were Sean Matson's stats. 0-1 is outside. even the count at 1. Wood had another single in the second and then popped out to second in the third inning. Comes in hitting .313. Boehner comes set. He deals. That one is deep to the gap. Center fielder going back for it, and it's down in front of the fence. Both runs going to come around to score, and Leonard Wood in for the bases clearing double. 2 runs coming in to score there, and Humber goes out in front 12-5.
You heard the crack of the bat. That just sounded good. Len Wood has hit a couple of balls very hard today. He has the only home run this season for the Hawks. Came close to getting number 2, but have to settle for a 2-run double, and they've blown the lid off this one, Paul.
They have indeed. Looks like some stretching going on in the Fanshawe bullpen. Although at this point the game is pretty close to getting out of hand, and you have to make a decision about whether you want to try to keep yourself in this one or maybe save your arms for Game 2. Of course, we'll have Game 2 for you right after the finale of this one. And another steal line. This one is up the middle, and with the runner going, Len Wood is going to score easily on an RBI single from Ken Honfeld.
Number 21.
Humber goes in front 13-5, and with just 1 out, if you're Humber, you're getting awfully close to that mercy rule.
Well, and you mentioned preserving your strength. If you're Fanshawe, of course, you had to go to the bullpen before an out was even recorded in the first inning. Christian King did all he could, and now Boehner did a nice job over the first inning plus, but obviously second time through the order a lot tougher for Cody Boehner, and Humber's just rolling right now.
So that'll bring up Matt Stoddard, the third baseman. Had an RBI double, in the first, and had another RBI and a ground out in the second. He'll hit with 1 on here. It's Ken Honfeld on first. He just brought home Len Wood's double to make it 13-5 Humber here in the 5th. First pitch swinging as Stoddard fouls it off to the first base side, and it's 0-1. And it looks like there are a couple of arms stretching out in that Fanshawe bullpen. Boehner comes set, the 0-1. Goes down to get that one. It's a slow chopper up the middle. It gets through. Honfeld thought about making that turn for third base. It was a slow roller. Center fielder McQueen came in quickly. So Stoddard has a single. And Humber with 2 on here for Colin Gingrich. And they have just about batted around here in the 5th.
Yeah, you saw it in the first inning. We ran out of room on our scorecards up here. And we may be looking at the same thing here in the 5th.
That's right. I think this is Keegan Murphy hitting for Humber. Pickoff attempt by Reflinghaus. But Stoddard is back in there safely. Finally see Reflinghaus throw down to a base here. Humber has been stealing on him all afternoon. Seems that anytime they get somebody on, those guys are in motion. 2 on here. We'll see if they try the double steal again. Here's Boehner's 1-0. No movement on the base paths, and that's low, 2-0.
Paul, you mentioned not throwing the ball back to the pitcher. Reminds me of movie Major League 2. Catcher had a little trouble throwing it back to the mound. The umpire finally had to talk some sense into him.
Boehner checks the runners. Comes home, fouled back by Keegan Murphy, well behind home plate.
And the fun fact about that, the umpire in that movie was played by former Orioles pitcher Dave Boswell. I actually took pitching lessons from Dave Boswell back in Baltimore. Yeah.
What did he teach you how to throw?
I didn't have a lot of heat, so it was more, learning how to locate my fastball, which was more like a changeup.
Here's the 2-1 from Boehner. Swing and a drive to center. That's high. Coming on as the center fielder, McQueen calls everybody else off. And And he'll make the catch 2 away now here in the Humber 5th.
Number 9, Blake.
Yep, that
Carr.
fastball is always about 20 miles per hour slower than you think it's going to be.
Yeah, it looks real easy on TV, right? These guys so effortless, 80, 90 miles an hour. You don't realize how fast 70 actually is when you stand in the box until you go to the batting cage and you've got blisters after 3 or 4 pitches.
Very true. Cower swings at the first pitch. He fouls that back over the first base fence. And it's 0-1. So Boehner here trying to finish things off, get his team out of the 5th. Humber up 8 now, 13-5. Boehner deals and it's fouled off the end of the bat to the screen, and it's 0-2. Big at bat here. Fanshawe has a long hole to climb out of. But if Humber can bring these 2 base runners around, it won't matter anyways.
You've seen this strategy. My strategy was get hitters to get themselves out. The floater was my put-away pitch.
Lots of long fly ball outs to the outfield, I guess.
Yeah, hold your breath.
Boehner deals on the 0-2, and that one's up the middle. Center fielder McQueen won't get to it. We'll see if they send the runner. They do not. McQueen got to that one quickly, and Humber clearly respects his throwing arm. They hold Honfeld at third, Stoddard up to second on the single by Cower.
And I think you don't want to run up the score here if you're Humber. Already things a little testy after what we saw last inning and going station to station here with an 8-run lead. Certainly we understand that, where Humber's coming from.
Andrew Thompson.
True enough, but I also think with playing 4 games in 24 hours, if you can walk off after the 5th inning here and save your pitchers a couple of innings, that might be beneficial in the long run. So it's Andrew Thompson. He started things off with a walk, came around to score on the Daniel Campos. I think it was actually an error where Campos reached first here in the 5th. Thompson 1 for 2, and with that walk as well. Here's the 0-1 swing and a foul back to the fence.
Is that 114? No.
Bases loaded here
13.
for Humber. Up 13-5 in the bottom half of the 5th. Boehner trying to stop the bleeding here. Big hook. And that'll do it. Strike 3. A swinging Andrew Thompson, but Humber scores 4 more to add to their lead. Started the 5th at 9-5. It's now 13-5, and they are well in control of this game.
Talk about my that's a true story. The guy who was the umpire in that movie used to pitch for the Twins. He took pitching lessons from me. The movie was filmed in Baltimore, and he was one of those old time pitchers you always hear about. Those guys that don't exist anymore today. No filter on what they say.
Yeah. Score.
Just started.
We got Patrick, Shanu, and Noonan.
The stream isn't working, just so you know.
So no one hears any of this?
Nobody sees any of it, I don't think.
No, it's
It's
working. It's being archived, but it's not.
Is the Wi-Fi not working either?
The Wi-Fi should be working.
Yeah, the
Oh, it is.
Wi-Fi's working.
Jim said.
I'm on it.
Wait, are there any changes for? Is that what you were saying? There were changes for the?
No, I'm just reading out who's coming up.
Oh yeah, Patrick
Shanu,
Shanu.
and then Ian Kerrigan hitting for Black Rock still, I would guess.
Are pitching changes, or is it still Cameron 50 Shades of Grey? Is that
16. No, I think it's Geertsen now, right?
oh Garrison, right? Sorry.
Moving on.
Ready?
Number 13, Tyson Patrick.
I had 13-5.
So we move to the top of the 6th inning here at Connervale Park, and Humber enjoying a big offensive afternoon, a 13-5 lead. Here, as we go to the top of the 6th inning, and the first pitch is low and away, and on the mound right now, Tyler Gertzen. They'll face Tyson Patrick, Alex Shanu, and Jeremy Noonan here in the 6th. And the 1-0 pitch is a little bit high and tight, 2-0. Gertzen came on and was able to strand a couple of inherited runners to end the top of the 5th, striking out Brian Hames looking. And the 2-0 pitch, there's a strike, 2-1. Patrick singled and scored in the 2nd, flew out to center in the 3rd. The 2-1 delivery, and it's inside, 3-1.
When Fanshawe was down 9-5, they were trying to play some small ball and scratch and claw their way back. Not really time for that anymore.
Certainly a big missed opportunity last half inning, and there's a swing and a miss off-speed pitch from Gertzen. So 3-2, the count goes full. So Humber able to withstand that rally and then put up a 4th spot of their own. Here's the payoff pitch, swinging a chopper towards the middle. Matson over, fields the in-between hop, and throws across to retire Patrick. 1 away here from the top of the 6th. So it'll be the designated hitter, Alex Shanu. He was hit by a pitch and scored in the 2nd, grounded out back to the mound in the 4th. So officially 0 for 1. First pitch from Gertzen is a called strike on the inner half, 0-1. Paul, very important for Gertzen to maybe finish up here, save the rest of the bullpen for Game 2.
Well, he's coming right after these Fanshawe hitters.
And that's what you want to see, swinging a foul back in off the hands of Shanu, and quickly 0-2.
Especially against the 7, 8, 9, who have not done very much damage this season for the Falcons.
Yeah, as you mentioned, good point. 154, 154, and 118, the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming into this afternoon. And there's a called strike 3 on the inside corner. Shanu down looking. 2nd strikeout and 3 batters for Tyler Gertzen. And quickly 2 away here in the top of the 6th.
We mentioned that outing back in September where he allowed that walk-off 2-run single with the bases loaded. And doing a great job here of putting that memory to bed.
Actually in line for a save. As he came in and 4-run lead, but the tying run was in the on-deck circle, so officially that would be credited to him as he misses for ball 1 to Jeremy Noonan, and here's the 2nd delivery. That's high, 2-0. Noonan 1 for 2, a run scored. Here's the 2-0 delivery. That's fouled off to the left and out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Make a great point about the pitching. Gertzen would love to get through this 6th and 7th. Burned just 2 pitchers ahead of another game here this afternoon.
It'll be a 2-1 pitch, and that's a little bit high, 3-1 on Noonan. Well, the magnificent complete game effort yesterday, despite the loss from James Burns, going 9 in a 3-1 loss. Here's the 3-1 pitch. There's a strike, 3-2. And if there ever was a hard luck loss, I would say that was it, going 2 extra innings and still coming up on the short end.
Can't do very much more as James Burns.
So it'll be a payoff pitch to Noonan, and there's a ground ball to second base. And Andropoulos with the play throws out Noonan. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Gertzen as we go to the bottom of the 6th, and Humber with a comfortable 13-5 lead over Fanshawe in Game 1 of this doubleheader. Of course, we all have Anthopoulos on our minds, thinking of the Jays, of course. But it's been a nice game here this afternoon for Stephen Andropoulos, Paul.
Very nice game for Andropoulos.
We mentioned that Campos yesterday led off both games, and Andropoulos batting down in the order, and they put him in the leadoff spot here today. He's been on base 4 times, a couple of base hits, a walk, hit by pitch. He's stolen 4 bases, actually, driven home a run, so really making a lot of things happen at the top of the Humber order.
He's also got an RBI. You mentioned Campos in those 2 caught stealing attempts yesterday. Those were the first 2 times he was caught stealing all season. He was 9-0 before that.
Yeah, and both, unfortunately for the Hawks, costly caught stealings late in that first game. Kind of short-circuiting opportunities that Humber might have had to tie the game against St. Clair.
What's that?
Do you want anything for tips?
And what ended up being a hard-fought doubleheader sweep at the hands of the Saints.
Humber played them very, very close. Down 8-3 in that first game and came all the way back to make it 8-7. Had the tying run at the plate, the bottom of the 7th. And then that heartbreaker, as you mentioned in extras, going down 3-1.
And James Burns, again, we mentioned a fantastic effort. He came in facing a team that was averaging almost 8 runs a game, held them to 3 over 9 innings. So that's a complete game, at least to the professional level. 2 extra innings here for high school. So, as we go to the bottom of the 6th, it'll be Andropoulos, Campos, and Matson. And Andropoulos takes a little bit low for ball 1. As we mentioned, on base 4 times today. Big game for Steven Andropoulos as he takes a called strike, 1-1. And still on the mound here is Cody Boehner, trying to finish things off here for Fanshawe in game 1. There's a slow curve. It's bounced to the right side in between hop by Noonan, and he will throw out Andropoulos. And no, it is dropped at first base. I thought it was fielded cleanly over at first by Hames, but could not come up with it. And I would think that would go down as E3.
I think so, but give credit to Andropoulos. He ran that out all the way. It looked like a routine grounder to second, but he put some pressure on the second baseman, Noonan. And he was just about there when the throw got to the first baseman anyways.
Kind of a tricky in-between hop, but throw a little bit low. I don't think that Hames needed to pick it, but still couldn't come up with it cleanly. So on base for the 5th time, even though that's an error, and a called strike to Daniel Campos. And with an 8-run lead, wouldn't think that Andropoulos would steal another base. He's already got 4 here today. In at the corners for Campos, who pulls one foul down the first base side. I should say in at third, Mike Ambrose at the edge of the infield grass, respecting the possibility of a bunt or a slow hit ball. Campos behind in the count 0-2. Not going is Andropoulos. That's hit in the air towards right center. Giving it chase is Murner, and it's going to split the outfielders. That's going to be extra bases, and being held, no, being waved in is Andropoulos, and he will score. It's an RBI double for Daniel Campos, and it is now 14-5, Humber.
Did he ever hit that ball a long way? The right fielder, Murner, playing in a little bit, and that was well over his head. He didn't have a chance on that. Got a good break on it, but that one was back to the fence, and an easy double for Daniel Campos.
On base, Campos is for the 4th time, 3 hits in his last 3 at-bats, each one of them bringing home a run, couple of run-scoring singles, and now a double that split the right center field gap. So it is 14-5, and here's Sean Matson, who is 1 for 3, hit by a pitch, scored a couple of runs, couple of strikeouts, an RBI. Busy day on the stat sheet, Paul, for a lot of these Humber Hawks.
Absolutely, lots of markings here.
A couple of times batting around. Here's the 0-1 to Matson. That drops in there. Curveball for a called strike, 0-2.
So Humber here, a base hit away from making this a 6-inning game.
Yeah, the mercy rule would be in effect at this point. A runner at second, nobody out, so you figure 3 chances. Here's the 0-2 to Matson. That's a little bit high, 1-2. And in the heart of the order due-up, you'd think a pretty good chance they'd get that 15th run in. The way things have been going here today.
Absolutely, Matson with an RBI already. Len Wood with 4 RBIs today.
It'll be a 1-2 to Sean Matson. Here's the pitch, and it's just off the outside corner, 2-2.
And following Wood, you've got Hanfeld, and he's got 3 RBIs today.
Really everybody getting into the act here this afternoon. So the 2-2 pitch to Matson. That's fouled back. We'll do it again. We're looking down our stat sheet here, Paul. I'm looking to see who does not have an RBI, and the only 2 guys I have is Colin Gingrich, who's now out of the ball game, and Blake Cower. And actually, Thompson, I don't think, has an RBI. Scored a couple of runs, so 7, 8, 9.
But everybody today does have a base hit for Humber.
Yes, sir. And that is low, 3 and 2 in the dirt. Now, that's good. Nobody wearing the collar this afternoon. You always have that in a big offensive outburst. It always seems to be one guy that doesn't get in on the fun, but not the case today. All 9 and actually 10 as Murphy's in the ball game. Having fun this afternoon. The 3-2 is in the dirt, so Matson draws a walk. First and second, nobody out here, as Len Wood will be the batter.
Number 8,
as Paul mentioned, a big day for Len Wood. 3 for 4. A double, 4 runs driven in. He scored 3 times. Wood playing over at first base today and doing exactly what his title would say, cleaning up in that number 4 spot.
And you have to think that Humber's hitters are, when you have a game like today where everybody's hitting well and you're making good contact, you can't wait to get back out there. And they'll do just that. Game 2 is scheduled to start about 30 minutes after this one ends.
First pitch, Len Wood grounds it foul. Of course, the flip side of that is, if you're the losing team in this game, would you rather get right back out there and try and erase that bad taste or sit on it for a few days? So I would think both sides ready to go and play another game of baseball. Humber looking to carry the momentum, and Fanshawe looking to flip the tide a little bit. Curveball is a little bit high, 1-1 on Len Wood. Lefty on lefty, and has not bothered the Humber Hawks here this afternoon, Paul.
Not at all. A lineup full of left-handed hitters, but it hasn't mattered. 14 runs to this point, and we're only in the 6th.
The 1-1 pitch to Wood, attempted to chase that curveball, did not, and it's 2-1. Kenneth Honfield will follow. Honfield has also had a big day. He's 3 for 4 with 3 runs driven in and a run scored. The weather has certainly cooperated today, given what we saw yesterday. Here's the pitch to Wood, and he pops that into shallow right, going out as the second baseman Noonan, and he's under it, makes the catch for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. So Wood retired for just the second time in 5 at-bats. Both outs have been pop-ups to second. And Kenneth Honfeld will step in. Honfeld, as we said, a big afternoon, 3 for 4, 3 runs driven in, a run scored. Honfeld playing in right field today. We saw him out in left in the doubleheader yesterday. Another left-handed batter against the southpaw Boehner. First pitch and a swing and a miss, 0-1 on Kenneth Honfeld.
Fanshawe, 5 straight wins coming in today, including those 2 wins yesterday at Durham. And Humber looking to get back on track after those 2 close games against the Saints.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's fouled off to the left. Now, Fanshawe coming into this game 6-3, and with the loss they'll fall to 6-4. But what's more interesting is their run differential will now be decidedly against. They came in with just a +2 run differential, despite being 3 games over 500, and down here by 9 runs, possibly more. Pitch is lined out to center field, and now coming in and then backing up and leaping, and it's over the head of the center fielder McQueen. Rounding third and coming in to score run number 15 is going to be Daniel Campos, and that will do it as we have reached a 10-run rule here in the bottom of the 6th. So the RBI double polishes off a big offensive afternoon here in Game 1 for the Humber Hawks. As the final score is Humber 15 and Fanshawe 5. And well, this one was pretty much decided after just 1 inning when the Hawks put up a 6 spot.
It looked like things were going to be a little bit closer, of course. Fanshawe came back with 4 of their own in the second to make things close, but you're right, after that, Humber took over, and this thing was never really close after that second inning.
And I know it's hard to believe, but in a 10-run victory, we got to credit a save to Tyler Gertzen, who came in and inherited a 4-run lead with a couple of runners on. Give Cameron Gray the win. Gray goes 4 2/3, allowing 4 hits, 4 runs all earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Gertzen, flawless in relief, or nearly flawless in relief, and he gets the save, and that's good news for Humber as they go into Game 2 here. And again, we will be back on the air shortly. For Paul McGowan and Everett Hanmer, I'm Michael Seth. We will see you shortly as we get set for the second game of this doubleheader. He did give up a run, didn't he, Gertzen?
I don't think it was earned, but I think he did.
The other run was to...
Just the end of the game.
You guys already got a sign in his mouth. I waited for you guys. Wait till the game was over. Holy shit, those are long. So innings, eh? Long innings? Yeah, jeez. Another long game.
By the time, and then when we come back, I'm going to get the lineup.
30. Oh, well. It's baseball. I'll take it. What's the score on the Jays game?
Okay,
Burley's getting hit.
I'll wait to go pee, Jenna.
Burley's
Just go
getting
eat.
They get out of it? Who had you guys on? Did you?
I'm gonna try and tally up the box score and everything just so we can
sure.
do it for game 2.
Something or other.
Heavy?
That was my bad. He gave up all 5 runs.
Okay, you gotta shut it down when you stop.
Garrettson did?
No. I mean, Gray gave up all 5.
How many hits did you have, fellas?
Pile.
I'll tally that up here shortly for you
Nice big
because I
pile
got
of
the
hits.
score 1, 2 in that inning.